wonder if it's just me, but it really feels like this opening shot is a bit of a homage to Paper Mario. It has been confirmed that at least the first Paper Mario is canon to the main series, so could be intentional. Of course, the other kings of the Koopa army would have front row seats to the wedding. It's just like the movie. Wait. I could call this a reference to like 3 different things, but frankly, I'm just impressed that even standing directly to its side, Bowser can't tell that he was standing opposite a Peach cardboard cutout. Operation Catfish? Talk about some meta humor.
I've come to make an announcement.
The sequel to the moon pissing incident? But where's Obama? You know he wouldn't take another round of slander from Ivo. And right out of the gate, the scale of the Eggman Empire is immediately portrayed in such a great way. Warships, hundreds upon hundreds of badniks, and even the damn Egg Dragoon, one of his strongest mechs to date, are presented to counter the resistance of the land dwellers. This is already not your average death battle. This ain't a 1v1 against 2 villains, this is straight up endgame. And Bowser, like the true beast he is, charges straight after the Egg Dragoon. Always one for the challenge. Bro survived a point-blank Egg Dragoon missile, caught it, and threw it back at the Dragoon. Since when can Bowser morph terrain like that? Though, given his other magical abilities and transmutation powers, I guess this isn't too far-fetched. The Eggman decoy from Sonic Heroes. Love to see it, never miss it.
You call these toys an invasion force? Let's see Toads do better.
While it's probably just Bowser trying to taunt and be flashy, he's not inherently wrong. I can definitely think of several times where Toads actually put up a good fight against Bowser. Even in some of the weaker games, like maybe say Paper Jam, these guys are a lot stronger than I think even they themselves get credit for. Infinite! Yay! I'm so happy they're acknowledging Sonic Forces was a thing! Oh, well, that didn't last long. Okay, so this was one of the things I would not stop seeing people make fun of out of this death battle, but this is not actually as pathetic as it looks. Infinite isn't actually weak enough that a Thwomp would instantly kill him. Trust me, I'm a bit of a stan, so I know how strong the Phantom Ruby is. King Boo simply just took advantage of Infinite's own move in order to win. Because the Ruby was increasing gravity, spawning a Thwomp under those conditions would make it move way faster and make it way more deadly. While I am still a bit peeved that they did that to my boy so early, but King Boo still gets a win for the extremely smart strats. So much happens in this quick struggle for the Ruby before Metal Sonic grabs it, but I think my favorite thing is this silly Goomba. He clearly wanted to help, but like, what was he gonna do? Pick it up? Brokey! I guess Broke must have been invited to the wedding. A+ move. He watched the crown destroy one of the Empire's leaders, so just swat it away, and all of a sudden, the king's just another Boo. Something I don't see many people bring up is that this was very likely Metal Sonic getting ready to use the Phantom Ruby to assume that giant robot form from Sonic Mania, which would have been awesome to see in HD. But of course, Kamek's gotta ruin it with a stupidly good chance time. Which, to add on, is probably one of the ballsiest moves Bowser pulls out in the entire fight. That could have gone a ton of different ways, like giving it to Eggman, or throwing a superstar on Metal. King is a lucky turtle. Also, Neo loses a chance time, and his first instinct is to use an Emerald and go Neo. Honestly, most valid crash out I've ever seen. Brutal! Straight through the body! Neo does not play around. Classic pixel strike for the Death Egg Robot's landing. Also, this Paraguma's reaction. Why was that thumbs up ironically one of the most Sonic things Metal Sonic has ever done? Also, the design of the Death Egg Robot kind of feels like a homage to both the game design with the spiked arms, and the design from the movie with the huge and obvious mustache and the mouth design. It's nice that they actually found a way to incorporate one of the Sonic movies into this.
Showtime!
Yup! Hey, he may just be following orders and programming, but taking a full hit from Fury Bowser to save your master? That's some serious loyalty. What a shot! The clash of the Kaiju Titans! Sage protecting her creator / father. Chills. Instant chills. Not only is this a beautiful nod to the comics, but the line choice makes me think that this was an intentional reference to Metalix. I refuse to believe otherwise. And hey, had Super Neo Metal not made the biggest tactical error of his entire career in a few moments, his insane power might have actually been enough to overcome Fury Bowser. Now there's a strategy you don't see every day, using pipes as a barrier. Ingenuity, perhaps? Even in the face of absolute danger and death, Bowser Jr. gives his all to give his dad a chance to fight back. Loyalty and love. And you know how I love how savage Neo is, but Super Neo is just a whole nother level. Brutal!
How dare you keep your hands off my...
And thus, Neo Metal Sonic learns the first rule of fighting King Koopa. Don't mess with his kid. Grand Star-powered Fury Bowser, creating a beam of power so strong that it knocks the power of the Chaos Emeralds out of Neo and straight up obliterates Neo from existence. I mean, if that's not a win. At least Sage recovered the emeralds so Bowser couldn't take advantage of them.
Sage! The Death Egg! Max power!
Went to the Planet Killer that quickly, huh? Sacrificing his army for even a chance at victory. Character continuity. Even Fury Bowser must be intimidated by an object as big as the moon. Move away from it. Also, I guess I was wrong about the moon pissing incident. It seems just fine here. What a move! Badass bad guy. Badass king! Fighting off and tanking a laser that could have very well destroyed the planet. All for the sake of protecting his troops and his son. A true king to the very end. But sometimes, tanking a planet-killing laser beam is the fastest way to shed some weight and become Dry Bowser. He did the run. Thank you, Moro.
So long, Doctor!
Yep. Dude who can punch castles into orbit, effortlessly punches elderly man into space, and gives the entirety of the Koopa and Mushroom Kingdom citizens enough wealth to last a lifetime in the process. Unintentional benevolence. Alright, let me start by just rapid-firing the incredible attention to detail in the animation. The imprint of Cubot's face on the weak Kamek disguise at the beginning. The Eggman fleet consisting of a mixture of his robots from every unique iteration, including the movies. Bowser's opening move being a dropkick in vein of his forward smash. The Hotel Mario-style Bowser face you can only see by slowing down. King Babam and the Spiny Shell Koopa both exploding lore accurately. The drawings of the key characters and items on the Chance Time roulette. King Boo instantly losing the dark eyeshadow once Metal flicks the crown off. Sage regularly flicking colors of red and blue like she was at the end of Sonic Frontiers. Neo Metal Sonic's super form lasting less than 50 seconds because there's no extra rings around for him to pick up to extend his time. But also it's not like he was surviving that beam struggle anyway. Chaos Emeralds being loaded into the Death Egg before it moves. The hints of Bowser turning into Dry Bowser during the laser strike. Eggman's little out of concern for Sage's safety. The one frame during the punch where you can see the silhouettes of the key players' original sprites. And probably a ton more that I missed. No wonder this is praised as one of the best death battles of the modern era. Like I said earlier, this is more than a battle. This is a war. A fight for the Koopa Kingdom's integrity. And both sides are fighting like their lives depend on it. I'll talk about the writing and the outcome in a sec, but first, props where props are due. Again, the voice acting is incredible. Zach Watkins plays Bowser immaculately, and Arthur Romeo played the perfect blend of the old and new styles of Eggman's voice super well. Also, I'm throwing a win on for seamlessly weaving pre-existing lines for Infinite, Sage, and Neo Metal into the fight without it coming across as cheesy and dumb. The music, Game Over, is one of the very few super heavy rock tracks that I will now be listening to on repeat. Brandon Yates, yet again, creates an incredibly fitting track for the clash of video game villainy icons. And Tyler Anderson and Victor Borba did an incredible job on the vocals, which, if you recognize that latter name from somewhere, you probably know him better as the vocalist for Bury the Light. Yeah, it's that one Devil May Cry song that is mean to like no end. Yeah, the dude is talented. A great grab for incredible lyrics and music. Writing-wise, I know Death Battle isn't canon by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, come on. In what universe would Eggman have all the Chaos Emeralds, the Phantom Ruby, and such a massive army without at least being contested by Sonic? But hey, every key character was portrayed in some of the best ways I have ever seen. Sage did an amazing job doing what she could to save her father, which was her motivation by the end of her first appearance, and Eggman still feels that connection. Bowser Jr. really played a bigger role than I was expecting him to, giving his dad the Fury boost and keeping him safe after the laser shed his skin. Kid was committed to the cause. Metal Sonic is 100% the MVP of this war, because most of the feats of the Eggman Empire's side came from Metal's actions. He took out Broggy, depowered King Boo with a flick of his wrist, overpowered Bowser himself not once, but twice, and was the only robot to actively harness the Chaos Emeralds. Yes, the Death Egg used them, but that was only to power it up. Super Neo Metal needed continuous use of the Emeralds, which is why he dropped them when he lost the beam struggle. It goes without saying that Metal basically carried the entire Eggman Empire on his shoulders. And finally, it's time to talk about the king himself, Bowser. When I first watched the video, I was not entirely sure who was going to win. Compared to something like Spider-Man vs. Deku, this is way more evenly matched. But Bowser deserves this dub. For the first time I have seen in a lot of fan writing, even if they were trying to maintain canon writing, they actually portray Bowser like a real king. There are several times in the video where he proves himself a worthy leader. The Death Egg laser beam is an obvious one, but one people may not catch as quickly is during Infinite Attack. He's using dark magic to keep as many of his troops standing as he can. He knows he can take it, but he knows they can't. Sure, the wacky cartoon shenanigans of the Mario universe helped Bowser have a general edge, and both villains can do the crazy stuff like magic, time-stopping, and reality-breaking, but Bowser can do all of that without any help, and that was something I only realized when watching this video. Sorry, Eggman, I love you too, but even you can't stand the King of the Koopas.